Wow. What a victory we just witnessed right here tonight. Oh, man. Where do I start? Where do I start? I'll start off by saying this. It is 11:21. I will not be on too long. I'll start off by saying that. I'm going to give you guys what you've came to expect each and every season, a post-game reaction show, a post-game reaction to what was a statement win, to say the least. The Buffalo Bills traveled from Buffalo to LA to take on the defending Super Bowl champion LA Rams, and they got it done, to say the least. The Bills defeating the Rams in a statement win, a 31-10 statement victory. And this was one that I thought would be a shootout. I give credit where credit is due, that the Rams are a great team. They're a solid team. They are a Super Bowl reigning Super Bowl team. I thought this one would be a tough one. I really did. I did not think that this would be the blowout victory that it was, especially in the second half. First half, I think we could all agree that the Bills were a little bit slow coming out of the gate in terms of nullifying their mistakes. Coming out of the gate, they were humming, I should say. But we saw shades of, okay, we're making some mistakes. We're turning the ball over in that first half in particular. And then the second half happened, and it was a tale of two halves where we saw the Bills just completely take this game over. And I got to start off by saying I questioned or posed the thought of whether Josh Allen could actually pick up where he left off from that Kansas City game to this game. And he picked up right where he left off. I mean, this guy looked better than ever. 10 of 10, throwing for a lot of yards, and just looking like a straight out killer out there. And I honestly, I mean, he did remind me of the quarterback that Chris Collinsworth mentioned. He did remind me of Tom Brady. I want to remind you guys, while I'm on here, fire away your comments. I want to know your thoughts on the game. Give me your thoughts on just everything top to bottom. We got quite a few people on right now, as I expected. Bills Mafia should be revved and ready for this one, because I love posting these right after the game because it's fresh in my mind. Although it's it's late right now. It's 11:30. I wanted to just hop on here for a little bit and just give you my thoughts on the game. So, as I was saying, Josh Allen looked like TB12. Dare I say it? Surveying the field, spreading the ball around. We were seeing Diggs get catches. We were seeing Davis get catches. We were seeing Jamison Crowder get catches. And Isaiah McKenzie, I believe it was his first target of the game. We saw Isaiah McKenzie have one, and then he didn't have it. It went in his hands, out of his hands, and into the arms of the Rams defender, which I'm not calling that one on Allen as far as an interception. But this was a statement win, to say the least. I see comments flooding in. Kevin Johnston says, "Hey Ryan, what's up? What a game. What do you think looking forward after this game of what the rest of the season will look like?" I mean, I think that's the next question. We're always looking at what's next, right after the fact. And when I looked at this game, I thought this would be a shootout. And to see it be a blowout, I am quite shocked that happened just now. I think you guys can hear it and just see it in my reaction. I am somewhat speechless here, in terms of just what I witnessed. Everything worked to perfection in that second half, especially. But in the first half, we saw the shades of what would eventually take the game over in the second half. Shades of Von Miller, dominating the opposition, creating openings for the other defensive linemen to wreak havoc. Jordan Phillips, Ed Oliver looked great tonight. Hopefully he's healthy. I know he was out for a point in the game. But this was, first off, I want to mention, this was Ken Dorsey's first night as an offensive coordinator in the National Football League, and he called arguably a perfect game. I mean, in terms of the play calling, the nuances in the formations, utilizing the players that they have at their disposal, utilizing their size, utilizing their physicality. I thought Ken Dorsey did a phenomenal job. And I posted a Facebook status as well as a tweet that said, something to the tune of, I'm going to take these off. Something to the tune of, Ken Dorsey is an offense. Ken Dorsey as an offensive coordinator is going to make people realize that Brian Daboll was working with talent, and Ken Dorsey is going to galvanize that talent and make it better than what Daboll did. Something to those effects. It wasn't all Daboll; it was the talent, and Ken Dorsey is going to allow the running backs, especially Devin Singletary, to be seen. And I think Devin Singletary had a decent game tonight. He had some nice runs when given the opportunity to. And Zach Moss had some nice plays. James Cook, on the other hand, that fumble that he had, that was really it. But to Kevin Johnson's question, what do I think looking forward after this game of what the rest of the season will look like? What I think it'll look like is, just simply put, this team is legit. This team is a team. This team is going to be in the thick of it. Whether it's, top 2 in the AFC or top 3, just to be kind and courteous to the opposition. But this is a team to beat. This is one of those teams that is in the upper echelon of the National Football League, and all that, hype is not hype. They are for real. And I know it's week 1 and we got a lot of season left, but just looking at the talent, seeing how it's being utilized, seeing how it's getting better, they're not going anywhere. So that's my answer to that question, Kevin Johnston. We'll see. I mean, it's one week at a time. It's a week-to-week league, but man, they really looked really good tonight. Doug Clark said it was nice to see some sort of run game that didn't solely revolve around Josh. I know Josh led the team in rushing, but he wasn't the main part of the running game. And to Doug's point, beautiful profile picture there, Doug, as well. I can't wait for Sabres hockey this season. I'll be sure to provide coverage on the Sabres as well, more than I have in previous years. I've really loved what the team is doing in terms of this, next phase of the rebuild. But looking at that concept, I talked about it with the preseason. A lot of Bills fans and NFL fans in general feel like the preseason doesn't really matter. Well, the result doesn't matter. Winning or losing doesn't really count towards anything. They're glorified scrimmages, right? But in terms of how the players are used, it definitely matters. In terms of witnessing Ken Dorsey use all 3 running backs. And I didn't expect that to stop, and I don't expect that to stop in terms of week to week this season. What that means, though, for fantasy football, I mean, you might not be as confident starting any running back on the Buffalo Bills, but if you were to pick one, I would say it would be Devin Singletary. He is the RB1 of the team. So it was nice to see, to Doug's point, them continue to utilize the running game, to not just utilize the run game, but not in a vanilla way where Daboll was really only up the gut, working things north to south. We saw a lot of stretch run plays. We saw a lot of, kind of play action mixed in with the run game. Allen bootleg, but more nuanced than Brian Daboll's obvious play calling. So, Pat Claremont said the defensive line. Chris Medicine said they were great on both sides of the field. Corey Thomas says our defense, no relation, by the way, our defense is very, very scary this year. 3 guys with 10-plus sacks. I think Vaughn's going to be one of them. He's got 2 already. I think Ed Oliver could be another. I think Jordan Phillips could be another. I could say you could have at least four guys on that defensive line with more than 8 sacks, I think, or more than 7 or 8 sacks. A lot of positives. A lot of positives. Shane Courtney says, got some things to clean up, turnovers, but all in all, looks like Buffalo is one of the most complete teams in the NFL. Doug says, Christian Bedford did really well, didn't see any mistakes. He did about as good as he could given the task. I can't say he did really well, because Cooper Kupp did still have some action, but Cooper Kupp has action against really anyone. So I want to acknowledge to another question. Arcadius on YouTube, with a cool profile pic in his own right, says, any updates on Oliver? I do have an update on it, Oliver. John Scott reported he was walking into the locker room. He was listed as probable with an ankle injury, and then the Buffalo Bills PR tweeted that Ed Oliver was probable to return with an ankle. I know he had left the game, and then he came back in, and then he left again. So, obviously it's an ankle injury. I think they wanted to just play things safe with the injury and just put him out. Hold him out of the rest of the game and take things slow. So, statement win, to say the least. I'm going to give you the stat line. Ryan Thomas here. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I'll be on here every single week after the games are over, giving you my post-game analysis. In case you're thinking that I feel a little bit subdued tonight, it is 11:33. I'm going to keep this a little bit shorter. I got to get up in the morning, as do you. But I wanted to hop on here as soon as I could to just recap this game. Really loved what I saw tonight. I want to hammer this home for the folks at home, because a lot of my listeners and viewers are older than me, to be honest. A lot of my viewers and listeners are either older than me or they're in my age bracket. Most, people younger than me, let's just say 18 to 23, they're not really as into the football podcasting content. They're in the TikTok stuff and social media in that way. And that's not really my thing. But the reason I bring that up is I'm 30 years old, and I have waited literally my entire life to see what I saw tonight. The Bills on a big stage, playing the biggest opponent that they could possibly be playing on their home field, no less. Not the Bills' home field, the opposition's home field, and blowing them out of the water. I've waited my whole life to see that version of the Buffalo Bills, and tonight I got it. 30 years in the making, honestly. And I'm not trying to overhype it, but you got to understand, my generation, the guys and girls that are 30 or 31, 32, that do watch this, they understand what I'm talking about. Going to school with the false hope of a J.P. Lossman, or the false hope of, oh, we signed T.O., or the false hope of, oh, we signed Mario Williams, and all these moves that were made over the course of the drought, and then we make the playoffs, and then we draft a quarterback. This quarterback is the guy that no one wanted but myself and a few others. Go back and listen to this show in 2018. I was one of the only people that really was banging the drum for a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson. And as it turned out, those are the two best quarterbacks as of now, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on this one, and we'll be right for many years to come, that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson were the two best quarterbacks in that class. So to see things transform in the way that they have, I'm sitting here watching the game and I'm thinking, holy man, this is insane. I've waited a long, literally my entire life for a moment like that. So it was pretty amazing. The Buffalo Bills' best players of the night: Josh Allen, 26 of 31, with 297 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, which was probably one of the best plays of the game. Showed the true heart, the true will of a true leader in Josh Allen. And not 1, but 2 interceptions. And you know what? I'm going to call it 1. On the stat sheet, it's 2. It is what it is. Stefon Diggs, 8 receptions, 8 catches for 122 yards and 1 touchdown. Diggs burned Jalen Ramsey on his long touchdown grab of the game, a 53-yard bomb from Allen to the hands of Stefon Diggs, one of the best receivers in the game, and without a doubt, Stefon Diggs proved it tonight. He is the best route-running wide receiver in the NFL today. Another receiver that is staking his claim as one of the best wideouts in the NFL is Gabriel Davis. 4 catches, 88 yards, and 1 touchdown. The first touchdown of the game by the Buffalo Bills. And Gabe Davis really picking up where he left off, and following him on social media, as I have since he was drafted by the Bills a few years back. Gabriel Davis really took this offense, took this offseason seriously and worked out in ways that he hadn't before, and I saw that tonight. I saw the physicality. I saw a player that is in premier condition, and I think that's going to make a big difference in his game. And look out, because last year, man, as we got into the playoffs there, we know the story, the 4-touchdown game against Kansas City. That was his coming out party. Talking about a coming out party, a debut for one Von Miller. 2 sacks in his debut as a Buffalo Bill. He was asked after the game, how does he feel about his decision going from LA to the Bills? Somewhat smirked and said he misses the guys in LA. He owes a lot to the guys in LA. Aaron Donald, Sean McVay, Les Snead, all that stuff. But he's happy to be a Bill. And I think Von Miller should be feeling like he might owe his agent more than 10%. Or his dad more than whatever he's given him, because his dad was the one that convinced him to come to Buffalo. So Von Miller looked pretty happy after tonight's game, and man, he played well. He wreaked havoc out there. So going back to your comments from the Bills Mafia. Let's see here. 39 here, I feel ya. I remember watching Wide Right as a younger kid. Yeah, and see, that's the thing, being 30 and not really remembering that at all. I'm somewhat thankful for that. A little bit thankful for that, because had I experienced that, let's just say if I was 60, that would have been heartbreaking. You know what I mean? And I might not have been able to rally myself back to being the fan that I am now. At 30 than if I was 60. And I can speak to that with my dad a little bit. He's 57, and he has those moments, or 56, he has those moments, where he is reluctant to really, quote-unquote, believe, because he's had his heart stepped on a few times. But I have too. And, I'm not saying I'm a better fan than my dad, but what I am saying is, I didn't get to experience those 4, heart-crushing Super Bowl losses the way that he did, so I haven't had my heart broken as much as he has. My level of expectation is higher than his, based on he got to see the greatest Bills team ever assembled. And I think history would state that fact, that they could say if the Bills even win the Super Bowl this year, that those teams in the early 90s are some of the greatest teams to ever play the game. Those guys, the majority of them, the stars of that team, those 4 straight Super Bowl teams, they're in the Hall of Fame. Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, the core of that team is in the Hall of Fame. So, Josh Allen find himself there one day? I think so. Could Stefon Diggs find himself there one day? Maybe. Von Miller, I think he's already a Hall of Famer, to be quite honest with you. But it's just a hell of a night, hell of a game. And truthfully, I feel we got 11 more days until we play the Tennessee Titans. And this was one that I think will hold us over, right? This one will hold us over. So the Bills winning tonight 31-10 against the LA Rams. 1-0 on to the Tennessee Titans. Monday Night Football back at it in 11 days. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Take care. Go Bills.